Lumi is the second mythic brawler in the next update. Yes, there are 2 mythics coming. I think her mechanics are really cool, but I'm not sure how much we can test with her. I'm gonna try certain things just to see what happens, but I don't think it's gonna be nearly as crazy as Finks, because Finks' mechanics are like insane. Anyway, here are her stats. She has 6,000 health, normal movement speed. She throws out 2 maces and they do 1,000 damage, and then recalling them does 1,800 per mace. She has a very fast reload speed and long range. Also, most of you watching this video don't even know that you're not subscribed, so you should go do it. We're getting close to 1 million. One thing I kind of forgot to show in the last video is the main attack for Finks. So here it is. You can throw them out and you can leave them there for as long as you want. This is usually your opportunity to use a gadget. Otherwise though, your ammo turns to 1 and then you can pull them back and it does even more damage on the way in. So you can throw them anywhere you want. But what's interesting is the second one, you can actually pull back before they even both go out. So they don't have to reach the maximum range like something like Charlie's attack or Carl's attack. You can call them in early. So you can kind of spam it a little bit, but you can't recall them until the second one is out there. So if you're spamming it too quickly, you might pull them back before you want to, and then you might not get as much damage. So you kind of have to time it pretty well, but I just think it's a really cool attack. Like, I could leave that first mace out there and like run away to the other side of the universe and it'll stay there until I decide to recall it, but I cannot do that until I've thrown the other one out. So now it should come to me from across the map. Yep, there it is. I'm surprised they're finding new things to do with attacks still. And it's a surprisingly good representation of a mace or Morningstar type attack. Let me just mash auto aim as fast as possible so then you can see how fast you can actually pull them in and do damage. Like on the robot here, but I'm going to throw them this way just so then you can watch the mace. So I'm just going to mash as fast as possible. Like, it seems a little underwhelming when you're doing this, but the DPS isn't that bad, I feel like. Her super is called Blast Beat. Lumi pounds the ground 3 times, causing explosions that deal area damage. The third explosion briefly snares enemies. In the Brawl Talk, they said it roots them, but now they're calling it a snare. It's actually different than a stun. I did not realize that until after the Brawl Talk, but yes, it is different. It's a new mechanic, making them unable to move but still able to attack. So that's what it does. Like, they cannot move, but they can still shoot you. So it's different, and it does it for 1 second. Editor nubs here, they're still calling it a root. So this is what it looks like. I'm glad they added the full reticle, because sometimes they don't seem to do that. Does it go through walls? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. All right, let me just waste my super so then we can see how many shots it actually takes to get it. So that's how much you get per mace. That is not much, but I think recalling should do more. Yeah, it did. Anyway, let's see how many full attacks you need. So I'm going to count that as 2 attacks, and then I'm going to count this as 4. I don't really know how else I should count this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 attacks, but it's kind of weird because pulling it in does more. So it could be 9 or even more or less, depending on what you hit with it. Let's see about this super recharge rate. I'm going to try and hit him twice. Okay, that's not too bad. So if you hit 1 of them on 1 person, it's going to be like a 4th of your super bar. Anyway, let me show you the new snare mechanic. All right, so we already know that only the final one snares them, so you can't really do it up close unless auto aim works. We're going to test that as well. But if Frank were to try and super me and I do this, I think his super should still go through. So I'm going to do it at the exact same time. And yeah, he got snared, but he did not stop because he can still attack. So it's like a worse version of a stun, but it's a new mechanic, so I like it. Anyways, I want to see what happens if you auto aim it, because there's a lot of supers in this game that work differently when you auto aim them, which is dumb. But let's see if this is one of them. It is not. So that super is not that good when you're close up. I mean, the damage is fine, but for other reasons, it's not that good. But yeah, I'm going to be walking around as a Frank, and then I'm just going to show you what it looks like when somebody's trying to walk when they get snared. It takes that long and then they can walk again. But yeah, if you go in and snare them and then you get up close, they can still kill you pretty easily. She is a pretty squishy brawler, all things considered, so you don't really want to get too close as her. Another thing I would like to test is Bull's super. Okay, so this might be really weird to do, but if Bull rushes in, then I do this. It does stop his super. That's crazy. I thought stuns don't stop his super, but snares do. Now I need to fact check this because I swear that stuns didn't always stop his super, or like knockbacks or anything like that. I swear everything doesn't work. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong brawler. All right, Bull is going in. And yeah, it doesn't affect him. Okay, one more test. Chester's stun. I don't think this should stop his super. Okay, I have Chester's stun. He's gonna go in and that works. So stuns work and snares work. Finks' time warp also works, but knockbacks don't work. Let me know in the comment section if you've learned something new today. Now, another thing I want to test is if brawlers, since they can attack, can they just jump out of the root? So we have Piper, and I want to find out if she can just say no to her super. All right, I'm going to root the Piper, and then she can just jump away. You can see the little ring there as well. It shows that she got hit by it. So if the enemy has any form of escape, they can just leave, which makes her super kind of bad in that way. But what about a shorter jump like Cordelius's? After he jumps, will he still be able to run away? Or will he just be there in the new location stunned? All right, gotta be quick about this, but I'm gonna do this. Boom, he's rooted, and then he still can't move. So it lasts the full duration after the jump, but if the jump lasts longer than the duration, then the duration is useless. Interesting. Now I want to test out if it will cancel a Nani super, since it's not a stun. So I don't think it will, but you never know. Things like this sometimes are not very consistent. Okay, so we got Nani Peep, and then we're just gonna do that. And I can't move the Peep. That's weird. So most brawlers can still attack, but I couldn't move the Peep while that was happening. Let me just try it one more time. So when I do this, I'm going to be doing circles as Nani Peep, and just watch it. All right. As soon as I get rooted, I can no longer do circles, and now I can again. That is weird. So it is like she's getting stunned, but it doesn't completely cancel it. It just stops you. Testing out of the way, Infernal Flames is her first gadget, and it ignites her morning stars that are on the ground for 3.9 seconds. That is really specific. The cooldown is only 14 seconds, 300 DPS. Now what I want to know is if the damage will stack if both of them are in the same location. So we put it down, and whenever we want while it's there, we can make it catch on fire. Oh, and it also puts me on fire if I have a mace on me. That's kind of cool. But yeah, you can see the 300 DPS, you know, it's nothing too crazy. But what if we put 2 on, and will it up itself to 600 DPS? Or will 300 happen multiple times? Oh, it doesn't stack at all. Ooh, that kind of sucks. Maybe they should make it stack. If I put it in a perfect position to where both of them might hit him, will it stack? Can I like somehow make it stack? No, it never stacks. So you realistically never want to do that unless you want to like make them have to walk farther. Then you could put it in a spot like this where, you know, it might take them a little bit longer to like get out of it. I don't think this gadget's that good, I'm gonna be honest. Her other gadget is Grim and Frostbitten. Lumi creates freezing winds around her morning stars on the ground, creating a slippery surface for 3.9 seconds. So a tiny little baby Lu super, and it does a third of the damage, but with the crowd control, I feel like this is better. It's only 4 seconds difference too, because like the 300 DPS isn't even that good for like a heist safe. I feel like that one needs a buff, like a big damage buff, or it should make them catch on fire. We all know how bad Carl's flame gadget was at first because it didn't make them catch on fire, and I think that's the exact same thing. Anyway, this one seems pretty fun, so I'm gonna put it in like 2 different spots, and I can have a big slippery thing, and then let's just see what it does. So yeah, it's a little Lu super. That is pretty cool. I think this one's gonna be way better. They definitely have to buff the other one. So that means if I want to, I could just put it on me. So like if somebody jumps on me, they could just slide around. That's pretty cool. But most of the time you do want to have at least 1 mace out there just so then you get more value. So if I have 2 like that, then it's just more value. For a third of the damage, this is so worth it. You know what's a pretty good combo too, is if you have a mace on them and then you super them, and then when that duration ends, then you slippery them. That's pretty good CC. Yeah, I like this gadget way more. Her first star power is called 42% burnt. The explosions from Lumi's blast bead also set an area on fire for 4 seconds. Damage scales with explosion damage, meaning the larger ones do more burn damage, I believe. Damage per second from the biggest one is 560. Editor Nubs back again. I just wanted to show you the damage values since it doesn't tell you all of them. With the first little dot, you get 400 damage per second. With the second one in line, you get 480 damage per second. And with the final one, you get the full 560 damage. Pretty cool. And the other star power is called Halftime. Lumi slows enemies hit by her recalled morning stars for 2 seconds. I think this one's gonna be way better because again, the first one, it doesn't actually set them on fire. They can just walk out of it. It's not that good. And this one is a constant crowd control. 2 seconds is kind of wild. It's pretty much every time you hit them too. Dude, Igor really wants to be in this recording. So I'm just gonna, there. Are you happy now? Oh yeah, he's happy. He's being a crazy little guy. But I am going to walk around with Frank and just let her recall. And that's 2 seconds. That's 2 more seconds. That's 2 more seconds. Like, that's pretty crazy. Especially considering the auto aim works pretty well. I'm not even trying to aim it. By the time you hit the first recall, you can just hit more and more and more. So that seems pretty crazy. So like imagine somebody's coming at you and then you could just perma slow them and they can never catch up to you. Like that's pretty epic. And you can also time it really well where you just recall the second it hits them. So then like they're getting slowed no matter what. One thing I like about this brawler is that she requires decent timing if you want to really hit the recall like right as it lands. I'm a big fan of her mechanics. I think a lot of other people will be too. I don't know if she's going to be overpowered or not. I think with the right build, she's going to be very good, but she might not be good everywhere. And now let's end it off with how fast she can kill the highest health brawler in the game, and then we will do the lowest health brawler in the game. Some of you guys told me last time that this is kind of unnecessary because other creators do this a lot. Like there are 2 other creators who basically specialize in exactly this, so I might stop doing this after this video, but let me know if you want me to keep it. Anyways, let's start the timer. Let's see how fast you can do it if you hit both recalls really quickly. There is how fast she can kill a Frank without her super. Next, we have Tick, and I feel like this is going to be a one-shot. He's dead. It's really fast. But yeah, that is Lumi. Also, she has Dark Knight Lumi, similar to the Draco skin. I am a big fan of this brawler. Both of these brawlers. I think these are way better than the last update. I'm actually excited about them. The last 2, I was not excited at all. That's the last sneak peek. The update should be out for you guys maybe the day this is out or the day after, probably. That's normally how it works. So let me know what you think about the update, and I'll see you later. Have a good night.